Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Thanks very much for joining us today for this MED Inclusion and Special Educational Needs webinar at Queen's. So my name's Guy. I work in student recruitment, and I'm delighted to be joined by Professor Alison McKenzie, who leads the MED Inclusion and Special Educational Needs program here at Queen's. So Alison's going to give you an insight into the course structure, the teaching approach, and what it's like to study this course at Queen's. And we'll also cover off some practical information around fees, funding, how to apply, and scholarships. And please feel free to post any questions you have in the chat box at any time, and we'll have some time at the end to go over some Q&As. So I'll hand over to Alison now. Thanks, Alison.
Thank you. Are you going to do the slide? There we go. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming to this webinar. I won't speak for very long. I'll just give you a very brief overview, and then I will look forward to your questions. And please don't be shy about asking questions. Nothing is too small, nothing is too minor, nothing is too daft or silly. So basically, the approach that we take on this program is social justice. And primarily because, in my view, inclusion of children with so-called special needs education or additional support needs at any level in the educational system is a matter of justice, because too often children and young people are excluded in a variety of ways, and not just through the obvious means of their disability, their impairment, but also their accent, the way they dress, the way they speak, faith, and so on and so forth. So we will look at how children and young people, and adults indeed, if you're interested in adult education, who come from disadvantaged or marginalized identities experience injustice in educational settings. Thank you, Guy. So we have 3 compulsory modules. One is, the first one there is a capabilities approach. Now, this has become one of the most influential approaches to understanding social justice. It's an approach that is used by the United Nations. If you've ever heard of the Human Development Index reports, it's informed by the capabilities approach, developed by Nobel laureate economist Amartya Sen. And then the philosophical approach is developed by Martha Nussbaum herself, a global intellectual. And it is widely used in addition in gender studies, feminism, disability studies, policy studies. And what it seeks to do is not look at the wealth of a country, because wealth of a country can't tell you about inequality, inequity, or injustice. So that's the first one. The second is where we deconstruct our beliefs, our attitudes, and even the concepts that we use in special needs education and inclusion to ask what they mean. Why do we use the word disorder, for example? What does it mean to have a need? And why do we talk about needs? And whose needs? Is it the needs of the child, the needs of the parent, or the needs of the institutions? So we will explore where our attitudes and our beliefs about special needs education comes from. And then the third one, again, this is an approach that certainly in academic literature has become extremely influential. I've been using it for 10 years, but it looks at the ways in which, when we speak to each other, that we either give credit to the person, we trust them, we think they're reliable, we believe that they know what they're talking about, and so we give credit to their testimony. That works in reverse, of course, in the sense that there are some people who, because of identity, because of sexuality, because of an impairment, a disability, because of their sexual orientation, we don't. We deflate down the way the credibility of what they have to say to us. So that's a form of epistemic injustice. It's a person-to-person injustice that either ensures that the privileged remain privileged and advantaged and powerful, whereas those who are traditionally marginalized or disadvantaged or excluded continue to be excluded. So it's quite a powerful way to look at how everyday interactions are practices of injustice. The next one, Guy. So each module, there's only one assignment. It's a written assignment. It's 3,000 words. You choose your topic. The only requirement is that you use the one. I should have said that each module has a key text, just one. And that allows us to engage in close reading of a text to understand injustice. Now, the approach I take is quite general. It's pretty abstract, but that allows you to choose the area that interests you, whether you're an ADHD specialist, speech and language, if you're interested in autism, if you're interested in gender, sex inequality, and so on and so forth. Almost anything is subject to an analysis of injustice. So you choose the topic. All I ask you to do is to explore that topic using one of the key approaches. So 3,000 words, and it's usually the assignment is due about 6 weeks after the module closes. I also, because I believe in formative feedback, I also give detailed formative feedback on assignment drafts. I know that's really helpful for students whose English is not their first language, and also for students who have been out of education for a long time. So it allows the student to experiment, to enter into a topic with at least a degree of confidence that if they're doing something wrong, they'll get feedback from me and steer them in the right direction. Okay. Now, this is the entry criteria. Are you going to discuss that, Guy, or is that me?
Yes, Alison, I can discuss it, no problem. So, for entry criteria, it's a strong 2-2 honours degree or above or equivalent qualification. So the closing date for applications is Friday the 26th. And if you're an international student, you need to have an evidence of an IELTS score of 6.5 with no less than 5.5 in any component. There are, if you don't want to carry out the IELTS, there's alternative English language requirements that can be submitted. I'll go on to the next slide.
I can do that, obviously, Gary. So yes, I thought it would be helpful to know what the timetable is. All my classes are in person. They're short and intense, but they're done quickly. So every module takes place across 4 evenings in a week plus 2 Saturday workshops. So you'll see that the capabilities approach, which is the first module in September, that's 4 Monday evenings, 5:30 to 7:30, 2 Saturday workshops. And then 2 weeks later, the deconstructing module will start, this time 4 Thursday evenings, 2 Saturday workshops in September and October. And you have the dates. We start on the 21st of September for capabilities and Thursday the 8th for the deconstructing module. Epistemic justice takes place in semester 2 in January. Same process, same format, I mean. So that's 4 Monday evenings, 2 Saturday workshops in January and February. And that one starts on the 18th of January. I should also say that these modules are all largely student-led. So they're based on discussion. So you will be given tasks, if you like. There's like reading questions for each chapter from each book, which we discuss in class. But on the Saturday workshops, these are based on student presentations. They're all designed to help you get to your assignment. The afternoons, the Saturday afternoons, I usually have a guest speaker who is researching in the area. But yes, I don't lead by PowerPoint and I don't lecture. You might get one PowerPoint from me, but that's about it. The rest is me and you talking about important issues. Okay. And yes, they're in person and in the evenings and on Saturdays, as I've said. And prospects, well, the majority of students who come onto the programme are already working. They're teachers, principals, lawyers. They come from the medical profession, speech and language therapists, physiotherapists, ophthalmologists. And sometimes students who want to go into the teaching profession often do the master's straight after their first degree. And use it in actual fact to help them to get on to initial teacher education programs. But certainly in the UK, the demand for SEN teachers is increasing. And in fact, if you're in the UK, you probably know that we have an SEN crisis. We simply don't have enough teachers. There's not much money. So it's putting schools under a lot of strain. And one of the big things that's driving special needs education is the lack of recognition of mental ill health, not just mental health, and the fact that, and the lack of recognition of adverse experiences of children who come from areas of socioeconomic deprivation, who come from violent families, children who've had to migrate to this country, and so on and so forth. That is driving up, as well as, of course, improved processes for identifying conditions like autism and ADHD, and also better diagnostic criteria.